Most people never hear this, not because it isn't true, but because it's uncomfortable. Your life didn't become hard by accident, and you didn't become tired for no reason. If you feel stuck right now, if you wake up already exhausted, if you scroll at night wondering how everyone else figured life out, this is about you. You don't need more motivation. You don't need another shortcut. You need the truth. And the truth is this: you've been surviving instead of living, and you've been doing it quietly. Pause for a moment. Think about the last time you felt proud of yourself. Not relieved, not distracted, proud. If that moment feels far away, keep listening. Because the life you want is not gone. It's waiting for a version of you that hasn't shown up yet. There is a version of you that wakes up with direction, a version that doesn't need permission, a version that doesn't apologize for wanting more. But right now, you are carrying weight you never chose. Expectations, regret, fear, unspoken disappointment. You smile in public, you overthink in private. You tell yourself, I'll figure it out later. But later keeps getting pushed back. Not because you're lazy, but because you're overwhelmed. No one taught you how to sit with uncertainty. No one taught you how to rebuild yourself when things fall apart. They just told you to be strong. And you tried. You tried to be strong when you were tired. You tried to be positive when you were hurting. You tried to keep going when nothing made sense. That kind of effort doesn't go unnoticed. But effort without direction turns into burnout. That's where many people are right now. Burned out, but still breathing. Alive, but disconnected. And the scariest part? You start to believe this is just how life is. It's not. Let's talk about struggle. Real struggle doesn't scream. It whispers. It shows up as procrastination, as numbness, as losing interest in things you once cared about. It shows up when you say, I'm fine, but you don't mean it. You feel behind, like everyone else got a manual you missed. But here's the truth most people avoid. Struggle is not proof you're failing. It's proof you're changing. Growth feels like confusion before it feels like clarity. And confusion is uncomfortable, so people run from it. They fill the silence with noise. They fill the pain with distractions. They fill the emptiness with busy schedules. But silence is where answers live, and most people are too afraid to listen. There will come a moment in your life when you realize something quietly. You can't keep doing what you've been doing, not because it's wrong, but because it's no longer enough. This moment doesn't come with fireworks. It comes with fatigue, a deep, honest fatigue. The kind that says, I can't live on autopilot anymore. That's not weakness, that's awareness. And awareness is dangerous in the best way. Because once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. You start asking better questions. Why do I keep repeating the same patterns? Why do I avoid the things that matter? Why do I keep waiting for the perfect time? And then the hardest question of all, what am I afraid of losing if I actually try? Sit with that. Because fear isn't always about failing. Sometimes it's about succeeding and not knowing who you'll become. Here's the reality check no one prepares you for. No one is coming to save you. Not your boss, not your friends, not the perfect opportunity. And that sounds harsh, but it's also freeing. Because it means your life is not waiting on permission. It's waiting on commitment. You don't need confidence to begin. You need courage. Confidence comes after you act, not before. Most people wait to feel ready. But readiness is a myth. You build readiness by showing up scared, by taking the step while your hands shake, by doing the work while your voice doubts you. That's how self-trust is built. And self-trust changes everything. Let's talk about discipline. Not the kind that feels like punishment, the kind that feels like self-respect. Discipline is choosing your future over your comfort. It's doing what needs to be done even when no one is watching, even when no one is applauding. Motivation will lie to you. It shows up when things are easy. It disappears when things get hard. Discipline stays. Discipline says, I'll do it anyway. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You need to keep promises to yourself. Small ones. Wake up when you said you would. Finish what you start. Show up even when it's inconvenient. Those small acts compound. They turn into confidence. They turn into momentum. They turn into identity. You stop asking, can I do this? And start saying, this is who I am. At some point, life will test you. Not to break you, but to reveal you. You'll face rejection, delay, loss, and in those moments, you'll be tempted to go back to what's familiar. Comfort is seductive when you're hurting, but growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in commitment. Pain either makes you bitter or better. The difference is reflection. Ask yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? Because every setback carries information, and the people who win long-term are the ones who learn instead of quit. Hope doesn't arrive as a sudden feeling. It arrives as a decision to believe that this chapter isn't the whole story. You may not see the path yet, but clarity follows action. Take one step, then another. Momentum is created by movement, not perfection. And one day, without noticing, you'll look back and realize you're not the same person anymore. You think differently, you respond differently, you carry yourself differently. That's growth. Quiet, uncelebrated, real. Transformation doesn't announce itself. It happens when you stop betraying yourself, when you stop shrinking to make others comfortable, when you stop explaining your dreams to people who don't listen, when you choose progress over approval. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards consistency. And consistency is a choice you make every day, even on days you don't feel inspired, especially on those days. Here's what I want you to remember. You are not behind. You are becoming. Your pace is your pace. Your path is your path. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. The only person you need to outgrow is the version of you that keeps giving up. And you're already doing that right now by listening. One day, you'll thank yourself for not quitting, for staying when it was hard, for believing when it felt pointless, for choosing growth when comfort was easier. That future version of you exists, and it's watching what you do next. So, take a breath, stand up straighter, and remember this. As long as you are still here, your story is not finished, and the best part of your life has not happened yet.